and in the place to be. You know what I'm saying? Rocking on the mic like all the MCs. It's your girl, UGoddess, the UGodd. Welcome. Welcome. I got a like already. That's what's up. That's what's up. Hopefully y'all can hear me okay. Got the phone on D&D. Just want to talk about current events. It's a lot of craziness going on across all different types of categories, not just one. It's a lot of craziness going on in all kinds of different realms, but we're going to talk about something pretty specific today. So hopefully I get a little bit of a crowd, couple of people that's interested in hearing what I got to say about the latest news to drop today, regarding obviously the abduction, kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie. So I want to chop it up. I want to talk about it because what dropped today just blew my mind. Blew my mind. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for what they dropped today. I've been following along with this story. You know, it pops up on my feed, it pops up on my timeline. Everywhere I go, it's the top number one news story all across the board. So it's very hard to like not know what's going on, or at least have some inkling of what's going on, because the news is just bombarding us with every little tiny, teeny little detail and non-detail that is associated with this story. So I couldn't help it. I'm following along like, oh, okay, that happened today. Wow, that's crazy. You know, that kind of thing. Damn, that's crazy. You know. But today was what made my eyes pop wide open today. Yeah. This picture you see behind me, scary ass looking dude or female, whatever. We don't know. We may never know. Let's see what happens. So on my thumbnail, I said, this just got scary, which might be a little confusing. Like, wasn't it scary before? Somebody getting kidnapped? Isn't that kind of scary within itself? Yeah, absolutely. It's a scary thought. You know what I'm saying? An 84-year-old woman being kidnapped out of her home in the middle of the night. It's craziness. But for me, this is what put me over the top. This is what got me to go live today. These photos that they released today, and how they went about getting these photographs and these stills from the images taken from her home surveillance. So, okay, first and foremost, this is UGoddess. You know, the name is UGoddess. I am a rapper. I'm an artist first. I'm a musician. I'm a songwriter. You know what I'm saying? And a poet. You feel what I'm saying? So welcome to the channel. And normally, if I do go live, it's normally because I'm talking about things that are passionate, that I am passionate about and are important to me. So one of those things would be music. The other thing would be politics. But today we are not talking about music or politics. Today is about Nancy Guthrie and Savannah Guthrie, because my mind, like I said, has been blown. So that's the intro into who I am and what I do. Check out the channel and see if you like it. If you do, you could always subscribe and stay tuned for much, much more. But in the meantime, Nancy Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie. That's all we keep hearing. And some people are like, what the heck is going on? So in reporting, you know, there's always the 5 W's, right? The who, what, when, where, and why. So what's the who, what, when, where, and why of this story? Okay. Who is Savannah Guthrie? If you don't know, she is a host, journalist, broadcaster, of the TV show, The Today Show. She's been on there for like 20 years, maybe more. She's a pretty famous person when it comes to daytime talk show hosts, TV reporters type status. She's like a political consultant and all kinds of things. She's got a law degree, super smart, whatever. She's considered to be a celebrity in the world of news reporting. Okay. She's not celebrity like Julia Roberts or Denzel Washington. She's celebrity when it comes to, like, the Barbara Walters of the world, um, Al Roker and them type of people. You know what I'm saying? So that's the who. The what. What is going on? Well, she has a mother. Her name is Nancy. She's 84 years old, and she went missing last week, Sunday. She just completely disappeared. So it made the news, okay? The when did this all go down? I just told you. Last week, Saturday, Nancy Guthrie, who is Savannah's mother, went to go have dinner and family night over her other daughter's house and her family. They had dinner, they played games maybe, I don't know, I wasn't there. And she went home around 9:45 at night, Saturday night. Sunday morning, she was supposed to go be with her peoples and watch an online church service. Originally, it had been reported that she was missing from church, but now we come to realize a little bit more facts. She was supposed to go watch an online church service with her friends, as she always did, and she didn't show up. So whoever house she was supposed to go to contacted the family, said Nancy wasn't here to watch the online church service. We just letting you know, or what's going on. Everything okay? And the family went to go to the mother's house to go check on her. If anybody has an elderly parent that is still living and in close proximity to you, this is something that probably would make your heart beat fast, and you're going to run over there. Everybody who's been in that situation knows what it's like to have an elderly parent that's still around, but getting closer to that time. So they went over there to go check on the mom. The mom is not there. They waited about an hour. What they were doing for that hour, I don't know. And they called 911. Okay. That's the when. Where is this happening? This is happening in Tucson, Arizona. And the why. The why is, why do we care? Because what I've been seeing a lot is a lot of comments underneath a lot of the videos and the news lives and things like that. People saying, why do you keep talking about this? Just let us know when they find her. She's probably dead. Why do we care? There's so many other missing people in the world. Why are we focused on this one lady? It's all because Savannah's a celebrity and she's rich. If she wasn't rich and white, we would not be hearing about this. And that probably is true. If she wasn't rich and white, maybe, and so well loved, I would say, by most people, maybe this wouldn't be getting as much media attention as it is. But let's be clear. Kidnappings in America do not happen this often, y'all. Missing people, yes. Kidnap people, no. So let's not sit here and act like we live in Mexico and we see this all the time. Let's not act like we surrounded by the cartel and people just get snatched up in the middle of the night all the time in America. That is just not the case. So let's not sit here and act like we don't know why this is getting the media attention that it's getting. It's getting the media attention that it's getting because it's odd. It's strange. It's weird. It's outside of the norm. Yes, people do go missing in this country. Children do go missing in this country. Matter of fact, I have some stats for y'all. 600,000 people are reported missing each year in this country. And surprising to me, may not be surprising to you, but surprising to me, 83% of those cases are adults, not children. So therefore, it's not as often as you may think. We don't live in a Hollywood movie, y'all. People are not getting kidnapped on a day-to-day basis, on a regular basis in the United States of America. It's just not that regular, okay? Kidnappings for ransom, that's some movie stuff. That's some Hollywood stuff. We just don't see that happen. So I didn't even get to that part yet. Yes, so the mom was missing. They call 911. The police come out immediately. I believe it is known this is something that's very, very wrong. This is not a lady that's disoriented and stumbled out of the home and disappeared and went on a walk and got lost in the woods. This is not that. There's blood on the front porch. Okay, there's missing door cam, there's missing surveillance cameras. The phone is still in the house, the Apple Watch is still in the house. And by the way, she has a pacemaker, and the way how they make their pacemakers now, I guess with technology, is that you can have the pacemaker connected to a Bluetooth device so that you could sort of monitor what's going on with the pacemaker. If something goes wrong with it, you'll know right away. God bless America. That's wonderful to have that type of technology. You understand what I'm saying? So pacemaker disconnects around 2 o'clock in the morning. So we know she got dropped off at 9:45 because that's when the garage door went up and down. Wonderful that we're able to, know these things and be able to document these things. Garage door goes up, garage door goes down. She's safe. She's in the house. But 2 a.m., there is movement on the cameras, motion detection. And shortly after that, the Bluetooth device disconnects from the pacemaker. Now, you would think it's a door camera, it's house surveillance cameras all around the house. Easy peasy. Let's just see who did it, right? Wrong, y'all, because I guess the type of house surveillance door camera system she had, it was not Ring camera, by the way, something else called a Nest camera. The type of system that she had and the subscription that she had was the type that if you don't pay for a certain tier, if you don't do the paid subscription, they don't actually record the camera footage. You just have footage. You ever see like in like like a cop movie or a cop and robber movie where they go to the corner store, the bodegas as we call them. They go to the bodega and they're like, we need your surveillance footage. We need your surveillance footage. That happens in real life, right? And the bodega owner will be like, damn, yeah, we got cameras, but they don't actually record anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could watch the footage from the camera on the TV in the office, but it's not actually recording anything. So if there was a robbery, if there was a murder, if there was a bad car accident, if there was some kind of domestic violence incident and it's caught on tape, you don't have no tape. There is no tape. And that's the kind of surveillance that Nancy Guthrie had. It did not record the footage. So this guy that you see behind me, it took them 8 or 9 days to get this, because I'm assuming now, this is not actual on the record, I'm assuming they had to subpoena the backed up files, because even though these companies say, well, if you don't pay, then we're not recording for you. If you don't pay, you can have the footage and watch it in real time, but you won't have a recording. They still got the recordings though. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't just readily available. It wasn't just readily accessible. So now you get the FBI involved in all of this, and they get warrants and subpoenas and all of that. And they're able to go through the backed up files, the behind the scene files of the camera footage, and pull the images from those cameras. But these were not just readily accessible to the people because she didn't have a subscription that allowed it to be recorded. So now, if we learn anything from this, I would say if you have one of these camera systems, you might want to look into bumping up your tier of service. You might want to look into bumping up to the paid subscription if you don't have one, because otherwise you just getting footage that you can only watch in real time. So all of this is going on. Before we got this, the police, they went over there to the house. They observed the scene, they worked the scene, they processed the scene, they had the yellow tape up, and then they took it down. And then news reporters swarm onto that house like bees to honey or bees to a flower. And everybody was over at that house. Then Mr. Trump, the president of the United States, got on TV and said, I heard about what's going on with Savannah's mother. It's terrible. and I'm directing the best of the best, all of FBI's resources. I'm sending them all to Tucson. We're gonna find this lady. We're gonna get it done. And a lot of people didn't like that because they looked at it like, well, what about everybody else that goes missing? You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Brad. Shout out to you. I'm sorry, does that say Brad? Shout out to you. Shout out to Israel. Do they call you Izzy? All the way in Brazil. Shout out to Landlord from Alabama. My mod is in the building, so everybody better behave themselves. I got mods in the building watching over y'all. Shout out to the Beast up in the building. I appreciate y'all for dropping comments and letting me know that you're here. So, yeah, why is the president getting involved in this missing case story? You know, there's missing people all the time in America. Again, like I said, I get that sentiment. I really, really do, because it's almost like, what if you had a missing person that you've been working with your local police department? You know what I'm saying? Trying to find this person. You're scared, you're worried. Everybody's looking for them, but you don't have President Trump coming out of nowhere talking about, I'm giving you the best of my resources to help you find your loved one. You know what I'm saying? But in this case, again, like I said, this is a kidnapping, and it's weird because this just doesn't happen that often. So I get it. And I appreciate you out there in Detroit for stopping by and dropping love in the comments with the blue heart. I really do appreciate that. And capping you and they say it's probably because there's a chance it may be a hoax. So I didn't get to it yet, and I should have gotten to it by now. But not only did the mom go missing and nobody can find the mom, but then TMZ got involved. Why is TMZ involved? They were going to get involved anyway because it's TMZ. They get a ransom note, y'all. You see, now this is turning into a Hollywood movie. This is why some people are sort of turned off by this story, because it's just too unbelievable and a little too surreal. Like, kidnapping for ransom, that only happens in movies. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen in real life. You know what I'm saying? And again, Captain USA makes another good point that when the family finally came out and spoke to the media, or spoke to the kidnappers through the media, it just didn't. And who are we? We've never had our mothers kidnapped for ransom. We don't know how we would act. You know, I gotta say that, because at the end of the day, you know, everybody reacts to certain traumas differently, but this is just strange. So somebody writes a ransom note and sends it to TMZ, of all people. You know, Harvey probably wrote that shit himself, because he always got to be involved in everything. But TMZ gets the ransom note, you know what I'm saying? And they're so excited because now they get to have a first row seat to everything that's going on in this story. And the ransom note said, you know, it gave some deadlines like, meet me around the corner by 6 o'clock with $6 million in Bitcoin or else, you know what I'm saying? But they gave two different deadlines. Both of them deadlines have since come and gone. The Guthries got on TV and they said, whatever you want us to do, we'll pay, and all of that. I'm sure you guys have seen the videos. If you haven't, they're there for you to see. Savannah's posted them on her Instagram. It's very, very surreal. This is very surreal. Cap'n says he's a lawyer. Yeah, Harvey Levin is a lawyer. That is true. And if you know anything about UGoddess, just so you know, I'm not just up here flapping my gums. I'm not an attorney, but I do have a legal background. I do have a legal education, but I'm a rapper at heart, and that always comes first. Landlord from Alabama says sometimes it doesn't feel real when you're going through something so crazy, so you just go through the motions. Absolutely. I do agree with that, Landlord. And also the fact that the FBI is involved now. The FBI is running the show. This is a kidnap for ransom situation. We've seen them on TV. We've seen them in the movies, but this is not NCIS, y'all. This is not CSI. This is real life to these people. And the FBI is telling them exactly what to do, exactly what to say. You know, there's hostage negotiators involved. These are the professionals. We just want to get on TV and say, give me back my mom. I love my mom. I miss my mom. They're telling them, no, that's not what you do. This is what you do. This is what you say. This is how you act. And this is how you're going to carry on. Trust us. We're the professionals. We know what we're doing. So it could be a reason why they seem so robotic, Captain. You know what I'm saying? Because they're listening to direct instructions from law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? But originally, did you guys see and know when the local police, this was kind of reminding me of the movies, because local police had the case at first. Obviously, they're first responders, 911. The local police are going to show up. When they found out that this was a little bit bigger than just, a missing elderly woman, maybe she wandered off into the forest or whatever and got lost. She has no dementia. She is disabled physically, but mentally she's there. She has all her mental capacity is at full. So, FBI gets called in and they push local law enforcement out of the way, like, get out of here. We see that in the movies all the time, right? As soon as the FBI shows up, they start disrespecting the local law enforcement and telling them to get out of here. We'll call you when we need some coffee. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on in Tucson as well right now. The FBI is taking over. They had opened up the crime scene, closed the crime scene, opened this crime scene, closed the crime scene. It just looked like a hot mess over the last 9 days. If you've been paying attention, it was really a hot mess. And I've just been watching it kind of like I'm watching a movie, but also like, is this real? Like, I can't tell if this is real or, and then your girl, Ashley Banfield. If you're not familiar with my channel, go to my shorts. You'll see I did a short about Ashley Banfield because she came out and she said that she had direct sources that were directly involved in the case, and she just starts spilling a lot of tea to the point where the sheriff had to come out and say that a lot of the things that she was saying was not true. But we know that even if what she was saying was true, she shouldn't have said it because she could have been compromising the investigation. So the sheriff had to come out and say it's not true. Like, she was the first person to say the son-in-law was a suspect. They've never even said that. Nobody has said that, but she said it. Visual Cooper says visual. Oh no, Vistula. I'm sorry, Vistula Cooper. The words are so small. Even with my glasses, it's very small. Did y'all see the pizza guy show up? Somebody delivered pizza. Where? To Nancy Guthrie's house? Talk to me, Vistula. Talk to me. But yeah, like I was saying, the FBI is in control, and the crime scene has been a hot mess over these last 9 days. It really has, because they want, once they take down the yellow tape, that's it. It's a free-for-all, and all the reporters just swarmed on the house. We got to see the blood. There's blood on the porch. They never even washed it off or cleaned it up. They just left it there. So the poor lady's blood is all over the porch. It looks like straight out of a Netflix movie. It really, really does. Or like back in the days when Denzel Washington used to make movies. Like, it just looks like, one of those like mysteries, like one of those cops solve the mystery type of movies. That's what this really was looking like. But then they released this. They finally got the footage from the cameras, and there really is a masked man going into this lady's house in the middle of the night. Like, it's really real, y'all. Ashley Banfield said that she had direct knowledge from a top tier source, a well-trusted source in law enforcement, high up in law enforcement, not no little rookie cop, that told her that the son-in-law, the husband of Savannah's sister, was the suspect. She was really out of pocket for saying that on TV for her millions of viewers. Like, tens and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people saw her say that days ago. Days ago, she said that. Now we have this. And this dude looks scary. And this is like 2 something in the morning. Your 84-year-old mother who lives alone in the middle of a Tucson desert, surrounded by cacti and dirt. This is what she wakes up to. By the way, she's on blood pressure medication, heart medication that she allegedly needs to take daily. to stay alive. And the medication is at the crib. The medication is at the house. Mother gone. Savannah was supposed to be at the Olympics, reporting on the Olympics. Savannah's in Tucson with her family. It's 3 siblings, 2 girls and 1 boy. They came on TV. They made a video. They said, look, give us our mother back. Please, that's all we ask. You want us to pay a ransom? No problem. Just show us proof of life. That was the first video, right? Show us proof of life. I guess that never happened. The proof of life thing. So they came out and the brother did a video. The brother is like, yo, you keep writing ransom notes and talking to everybody else, but you ain't talking to us. Talk to us. Show us proof and we could do business. I suppose they did not do that. Hi, Lynn. What's going on with you? Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for dropping a comment and letting me know you're here with me. And then the last video was Savannah by herself. This time she had a little bit of makeup on. Her hair was done. She didn't look as crazy as she did before. And she says, we will pay. No, the last one that she just did was, I need your help. She was speaking to the public. The very last one was, I need you guys to help me with this. I need you to help me find my mom. The video prior to that was the 3 of them again coming out and saying, we've got your message and we understand. Please return our mother to us. It's very important to us and we will pay. A lot of people were tripped up over the fact that they said, give her back to us so we can celebrate with her. A lot of people thought that that meant she must be dead. And they're talking about they want to celebrate her life, have a celebration service with the body. Like, just give us the body, even if she's no longer with us. Scary stuff. Sleepy says, business, I guess, us business. Dorothy says, hey, what's up, first time? Well, welcome, Dorothy. Bienvenidos, bienvenue. Nice to have you here. Yeah, I didn't get that one, Sleepy. Sleepy wants to know what's going on under my nails. My nails are very clean. It's clean under there, baby boy, if you're a boy. Don't worry about that. I wash my hands and I keep them clean, baby boy. Don't worry. But thank you for your concern about what's under my nails. I appreciate it. So yeah, do y'all have any questions or any comments, thoughts of what's going on with this situation? Do you believe? Sleepy, don't worry. I got you. Don't worry. I promise. My nails are clean, Sleepy, okay? Comments, thoughts, questions about this case. What are your thoughts? Like, were you like me and were you just kind of like watching, from the sidelines and not really too involved? Were you feeling like, why are you giving this one news story so much coverage? Like, relax, media, go talk about something else. There's so much else going on. The Epstein files. The Epstein files. What about that? You know what I'm saying? Every day there's a new celebrity that was mentioned in the Epstein files. At this point, don't tell me who's in the Epstein files. Just tell me who's not. Just tell me who's not. And it's hard to keep up with the Epstein files because how many pages? Hold on. How many pages are in the Epstein documents? Because I would read it for y'all and let y'all know. But if I'm not mistaken, it's 1 million pages. You know what I'm saying? So 3.5 million pages. 3.5 million pages. Betty says, I think they need to investigate the church. Someone there did it. Someone in there did it. I mean, it could be Betty. At this point, this thing is getting so crazy and out of control, is it not? This thing is getting so crazy and out of control. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to turn when it comes to who took Nancy. That's going to be the name of the movie when it comes out. Who took Nancy? Where is Nancy? You know what I'm saying? And I've just been kind of like, how can you not pay attention? I've been paying attention, but I wasn't like deep diving into it and biting my nails, watching every day to see what's going on. But when they released this, I'm like, oh, it really was like a masked intruder. Because at first I didn't believe it. At first I didn't believe that it was a masked intruder. I'm not going to lie to you, because it was just too out of this world surreal. Sleepy wants to know, why didn't Biden get the files? I don't know that he even tried. Sleepy, would you relax? Come on, would you relax? Leave my nails alone. Leave my nails alone. This is, part of me is kind of how you identify UGoddess. You know what I'm saying? The nails, the music, the rap, the style is part of my identity. Sleepy, relax. Lynn thinks it's higher up. I don't know why Biden didn't get the Epstein files. I don't know if he tried to get them. I know that the current president at first was against. Yeah, go back to sleep, Sleepy. You know what I'm saying? Relax. Go lay down. Go lay down. At first he was trying to sort of fight them coming out. And then miraculously, all of a sudden, he was like, "All right, you could get them out, release them." So I don't know. I'm a little bit of a skeptic when it comes to all of this. When it comes to Savannah Guthrie, when it comes to the president, I'm, a little skeptical. So it was like, why at first you didn't want them to come out and now you say it's okay? Did you do something in the meantime, in between time, to make it, a little safer for it to come out, safer for you? Lynn says, me and my coworkers feel that way. I'm a lawyer, so we be talking. Yes, Lynn. Okay, Lynn. Yeah, I know you have a much better insight on this than some regular just lay people, that might just be watching from the couch and just not really too much paying attention. That was kind of me at first. I wasn't really too much paying attention, but I have a criminal justice background myself, Lynn. I'm not an attorney. Not yet. Not yet, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So yeah, back to, the distractions, the Epstein files thing that's going on. At this point, like I said, don't tell me who's in it. Just tell me who's not in it. Because at this point, everybody's in it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all of y'all. And the thing about it is, if you're a celebrity and you had anything to do with Epstein, you met him, you shook his hand, you went out to dinner with him, you did a business deal with him, you went on a yacht with him, you drank champagne with him. If you had any dealings with him whatsoever, I would just come out and say it, because at the end of the day, birds of a feather flock together. Not the nastiness that he was doing, but the money lines wise, right? Like, when you make a certain amount of money, you hang out with a certain tier of people, do you not? It's a hierarchy. When you make a certain amount of money, you're not hanging out with, and I don't want to say anything that's going to be like offensive, because like everybody has a right to do what they do in life and make money the way they make money. But let's just say you're not going to hang out with somebody maybe that's not in the same tax bracket as you, for the most part. Is that safe? Is that fair to say? If you're a regular Joe making regular money, your friends are probably regular Joes that make regular money for the most part. And if you rich and you like that, and you at the top of the elite list in New York, doing big elite New York A-list things, your friends are probably all A-list New York elite people too. So if you had any dealings with this man, I would just come out and be like, yep, I met him. I bought a boat from him. Yep, I met him. I was at a party where he was at. I would just say it, because it's probably at this point understandable if you were in a circle with him at some point. We all know how Hollywood, we all know how they get down. Let me read some comments. Thank you, Mo. Mo says, love your spirit. Spirituality says, yeah, it's all a little weird. Lynn is encouraging me to take the bar. I am, Lynn. I'm going to do it. Lynn says, I work to help people that can't afford lawyers. Yeah, see, Lynn, that's one of the things I'm sort of trying to figure out right now is which area of the law I want to settle in. So I'm sort of working in a bunch of different areas of the law so I can pick the one that I really want to do. But as long as it is about helping people who really, you know what I'm saying, can't afford or need the help, those are the ones that I want to go for the most. That's the area of the law that I want to work in the most. So helping people, helping families, helping the underprivileged, and helping the underserved. Shannon says HBO documentary, Black and Missing. Sleepy thinks Lynn is a criminal because Lynn is a lawyer. Sleepy, in a minute, I don't know where my mods are, but my mods are not going to take too much more of you just saying all these off the wall comments. So can you just stick to the topic, Sleepy? Stick to the topic. JP says work for Trump to help the underprivileged. Yeah, that's not going to work. I don't think the underprivileged and Trump are in the same circle, JP. What you think? But yeah, guys, like I was saying, the only reason why I brought up the Epstein files is because some people seem to believe that this is all one big distraction. And, you know, they think that maybe, just maybe, you know what I'm saying, this whole Savannah Guthrie thing was a hoax. But how do you explain this? How do you explain that? Turk says, I like President Trump, but just because I think life will be like less expensive. Oh, just because I think, hold on, let me read this again. Turk says, I like President Trump, but just because I think life will be less expensive than other people. But this lady has got an awesome outfit, and I agree with her too. Oh, thank you. Yes. And you are free to like whoever you like on this channel as far as politics is concerned. You know what I'm saying? Long as you're respectful. You could be Republican, Democrat, Independent, don't give a you know what. It doesn't matter as long as you are respectful and we could talk about it. We really can. I do have a podcast, a podcast that's called Black Girl in a Blue State, because that's what I am. And sometimes people in blue states have conservative minds. You know what I'm saying? Just like sometimes people in red states might be a little more liberal. It's not so dire to the point where you want to pack up and move and go somewhere that votes red. But I'm just saying that the state that I live in, it's blue. It's always gonna be blue. It ain't never been nothing but blue, and it's not gonna change no time soon. So imagine living in a state where maybe you don't necessarily agree with certain things, but you know that no matter what, from the local level all the way up to the White House, your state is gonna vote blue. It just is what it is. I live in a blue state. JP says it's the son-in-law in the video. Oh shit, JP. And Sleepy likes my glass. Oh, Sleepy, you finally said something nice. That's what's up. I appreciate you, Sleepy. Hey, JP. These screenshots that they got from this video are scaring the heck out of me. They're scary looking. It just got real for me. It just, because I've been following the story all along, don't get me wrong, but it just got real for me when I seen the masked intruder, because it's like, okay, I know we were thinking like it might be the family, it could be someone close. Somebody in the chat said it's someone from her church. You know, some people have been saying, you know, maybe it's a gardener. Has she had any work done on her house? It could be a construction worker. We don't know, but now we know for sure somebody broke into that lady's house, took down her cameras, busted up the floodlights, or at least one floodlight. I'm not trying to be like Ashley Banfield and spread a bunch of, I don't know if she was spreading lies, but she was talking too much. Sleepy, you know, you're cool with me. You're cool with me, Sleepy, right now. I like how you getting down right now. But yeah, Ashley Banfield was the first one to say it was the son-in-law. The first one I heard say it was the son-in-law. I haven't heard anybody else say that. And immediately after she started saying all these things, because she has inside information and she has sources on the inside, the sheriff had to come out and was like, I know y'all are hearing this. Everything she said, he came out and said it's not true. Or he came out and said, we never said that. So, Ashley, this is my thing. Even if you do have sources on the inside, right? And even if you do have someone in law, a higher up in law enforcement, and they pinching you on the side and like, yo, this is what's going on, yo. They're looking at the son-in-law, you know what I'm saying? They think it's him. He got all kinds of reasons. He's got a record. And even if they're telling you that, do you get on your YouTube podcast where you have 3.3 million subscribers and you get hundreds and thousands of views every time you go live? Do you get on your YouTube channel and say that shit? Like, come on, Ashley Banfield, you got so many years of experience. I know everybody wants to be the first one to break the news, but I don't think you should do stuff like that that actually will literally compromise an investigation like that. I don't think that's cool. Let us, the public that are not, involved in journalism of any way. I'm not a journalist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a TV host or a news reporter. Let somebody like me say it, but not you. You can't do stuff like that, Ashley Banfield. Come on now. Behave yourself. But yeah, man, this is why I went live today, y'all, because when those screenshots came out, I was flabbergasted. I was shocked. My mouth dropped, and they scared the hell out of me because they look really, really creepy. Like, I'm just picturing an 84. I wish my mom lived to be 84. You know what I'm saying? I wish my mom would have lived to be 84. My mother wasn't that lucky. She wasn't that lucky. She didn't get to make it all the way to 84. But I can't even imagine an 84-year-old woman. Again, she has her wits about her. No dementia or anything like that. No diminished mental capacity. Nothing like that. But she was physically, she had limited mobility is what they called it. Limited mobility. Can't walk more than 40 yards without assistance. And she has a pacemaker. And she's in the house. We know she got dropped off around 9:45. Garage door goes up, garage door goes down. She's in the house. We know that. Again, she has this camera system set up all around her house, but she doesn't have the subscription that records the footage and stores the footage. So all she has is just live recordings. We know that it was motion detection that was picked up around 2 a.m. We know that her pacemaker disconnected from the Bluetooth at 2:22 or whatever time it was, 2:20. I'm just thinking an 84-year-old mom. I'm thinking about my mom who's no longer with us, laying in bed, and this is what you wake up to, bruh. The blood, Betty, the blood. They didn't even clean up the blood. They just left it there. And when they tested the blood came back as Nancy Guthrie's blood. So we know she was bleeding when she left the house. And we're supposed to believe. Well, we're going to hold on to hope. The family is going to hold on to hope, obviously, that she's still with us. Leanne, so that's somebody new. Welcome, Leanne. Thank you for commenting. I kind of think the sister-in-law is involved somehow. I hope not, but something seems off. The son-in-law. It's just the one guy, right? That's what K Love wants to know. And Betty Mack said she also heard that it was the husband. Maggie. Ooh, Maggie, girl. I'm going to tell you in 1 second. Maggie wants to know, what did I miss? Sarah says she got too comfortable. She lived there for 50 years. Absolutely. I can imagine, because if you've been watching the footage, then you know that this house is in a very, very secluded, quiet, stretched out acres of land all around you type of neighborhood. I am nowhere near Arizona. I'm in the Northeast. You know what I'm saying? It's freezing outside. Somebody send help, send love, send a hug, send me a faux fur. You know what I'm saying? Mittens and gloves, please. I'm in the Northeast, but the way that it looks out there, the neighborhood is very spread apart, you know what I'm saying? And they were saying, like, even if you do have a Ring camera on your doorbell, even if you do have a doorbell camera, what is it really gonna see? It's pitch black out there. There's no lights. Melanie says the public should not have been able to be in the yard, right? Melanie, you know, who are we, right? We're not law enforcement. We ain't cops. We not FBI agents, but even we know that you don't take the caution tape down 5 hours after you process the scene. You got to leave the caution tape up. That's like an active crime scene. Is somebody missing? Like for real missing. And there's actual traces that some type of a crime possibly occurred there. And yet, Melanie, and yet they took the crime tape down. They put the crime tape back up. They put the tape down. They put it back up. Like now they're searching the sewer. Like now they're taking stuff off the roof. Like you would think they would have left it cordoned off this entire time. Oh man, let me keep reading. Oh wow, Caleb, talk to us. Tell us what's going on out there. You only live 4 miles from there, so you're my eyes on the street. You're my feet on the ground, my boots on the ground. Talk to me. So back to Maggie. Maggie, what have you missed? If you know the Nancy Guthrie cameras that were on her house, she had a surveillance camera system, but she had the subscription that didn't keep the footage or upload it to the cloud. So when they actually need the footage from what was seen at 2 a.m. when the motion detector went off, they had nothing because she didn't record any of her footage. So they had to go to the actual, I believe the name of, well, not I believe, the name of the camera system is Nest, like a bird's nest, and they're owned by Google. They had to go to Google to get the backup files because even if you think something's not being recorded, it's still being recorded at the end of the day. It's not that the cameras didn't work, Steelers girl. And by the way, go Cowboys. It's not that the cameras didn't work, Steelers girl. It's that she had cameras that did not record or store the footage or upload it to a cloud. So that's what was going on. Yeah. And thank you for George Pickens, by the way. We appreciate you. Thank you for George Pickens. Steelers girl. So that's what it was. So they just got the footage. They had to go and subpoena it and they had to whatever they had to do to find the footage and get the footage from the home company. They were able to get it and they released these screenshots. This is just 1 out of 3 that they've released to the public. And man, it's looking scary. That I mean, an 84-year-old woman waking up to this guy. You know what I'm saying? And somebody else had asked in the comments if there was more than one intruder. From what I've seen and from what I do understand, there's only been one intruder. Smoke you, I'm glad you finally caught me. Thank you for stopping by. I'm glad you finally caught me. From what I've seen, there was just one intruder, but who knows? He might have had a car waiting. The blood on the doorstep is really, really concerning, is it not? Terrifying, K-Love. Absolutely terrifying. Melanie says, what about the family reporting that the church notified that she didn't show up? Church stated that she hasn't physically been there since COVID. Melanie, oh, you're paying attention. You paying better attention than the law enforcement working the case. Okay, let me take that back. You're paying better attention than the media that's reporting on the case. They've been telling us since day one that the reason how they knew she was missing is because she didn't show up to church that Sunday morning, and that was not the case. She wasn't supposed to go to church. She watched her church online. But I'm not sure how heavy of a detail that is because what it was she was supposed to watch church online with other people, like other churchgoers or friends or close acquaintances, and she didn't show up for that powwow to watch the online church service. That's what she didn't show up for. Jay says the eyes seem like a woman. I've seen a lot of people commenting on the arched eyebrows. The eyebrows look sculpted and look like maybe they've been professionally done. But just keep this in mind. Let's give you a little bit of food for thought. there's a lot of people out there in this world that got beautiful, sculpted, naturally arched eyebrows, and they don't go and get it done professionally at all. They were just born that way. You know what I'm saying? They don't gotta pluck them. They don't gotta go to see. They don't gotta go get them waxed or nothing. They just have beautiful eyelashes, beautiful eyebrows. Some people are just born like that. So I'm just putting that out there. Not everybody gets their eyebrows shaped. Betty says, I think at first they thought it was a hoax, then they processed, then they realized, yes, Betty, that's how I felt. And I think that's how I read a lot of comments. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I don't even watch the videos. I just read the comments to get kind of like a snapshot, just a little bit of a biopsy of what the world thinks of this case. And a lot of people are like, call me when you find her. Some people are like, why are you giving this case so much attention when there's so many other people that go missing every day in this country and y'all don't care nothing about them, but you're giving all this attention to Savannah's family. And then some people are like, they're in it 100% all the way, deep dive all the way in it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it did seem a little, I would say, it felt a little surreal to me. It felt when it first started unfolding, and it's only been 9 days, it just felt very surreal to me. It felt like a movie, like a script for a movie. And did y'all pick up on, or did you see the reports about how in the family's first video, when they were like, our mother is kind, our mother is loyal, our mother is faithful, just talk to her and you'll see. Do you remember that? Do you know that was a line directly plucked from Silence of the Motherfucking Lambs? Yes, Melanie. Did you know that? Now, Silence of the Lambs is yes, Sarah. Silence of the Lambs is a long time ago. I do not remember that movie like that, to be remembering the quotes and remembering the lines. That line, talk to her and you'll see, directly pulled from Silence. So when you see stuff like that, it just makes it even more surreal. Now, there could be a very logical explanation that that's something that the FBI encourages families that are in this position to say. You know what I'm saying? And when they were doing the Silence of the Lambs movie, it's very, very logical that they would have had real FBI consultants on the set, or real FBI consultants that they spoke with and interviewed while they were writing the script. And they took that directly from the FBI playbook. Now, if that's the case, that makes perfect sense. But it's just crazy that they said it word for word. Word for word. Talk to her, you'll see. Melanie says the FBI did consult the directors in the movie, and there you go. And there you go. So even though that seemed a lot, that was creepy when I found that out. Steelers girl, it's so weird. It's so weird, this whole thing. And I think it's because this is not something that just happens typically in America. Do people go missing? Yes. Do elderly people go missing? Absolutely. All the time. Locally, in my state, I see it in the headline news all the time. Police are on the lookout for an 85-year-old man who wandered out of his driveway, last seen on his Ring door camera, and he usually ends up, lost and disoriented. Doug, Doug, don't make me laugh. She puts the lotion on the skin. She puts the lotion in the basket. I know it happens in my state. It'll make the news where an elderly person has wandered off. It's usually that, you know what I'm saying? I'll tell you one thing. It's never that the person was kidnapped for ransom. That's one thing I know for sure. It never is. But do I hear about elderly people going missing? Absolutely. Does President Trump get involved and send the FBI to my state to help look for these people when they go missing? No, he does not. So I understand why some people are a little perturbed. You know what I'm saying? Melanie says, amateur or professional? What's your opinion? I mean, this is looking kind of professional with the gloves and the mask. And some people say they see like a mustache, but I'm wondering if they have a black, like a black ski mask on and then another like knit mask over it. So it's like double mask. And then they say he's armed, but I don't see a weapon in this photo. Um, Thinking about smashing the cameras or disabling the cameras, thinking about um taking her in the middle of the night, knowing sight unseen that people are not going to be able to really say what they saw based on the neighborhood. It has a smell of professionalism. The ransom notes, though, those throw me off all the way. The ransom notes are just weird. That's just weird. And most of the time, not that I'm an expert on kidnapping for ransoms, because I'm not, but don't you think that usually they would send the ransom note like to the FBI or to the family, not to TMZ? But then again, I don't know. TMZ is the wave. Everybody knows TMZ, and it has an air of professionalism to it, but the ransom notes is what throws me off. That's what had me thinking this is some goofy shit. This is goofy until I saw this. um Sarah is dead set. She says, listen, it's someone close to her and you cannot make me change my mind. Holla at me when they solve the case. Yeah, Doug, that was funny. That was funny, Doug. Cindy says federal government should get involved. It's their phone if there's phone calls. Yeah, I believe the feds are already there, Cindy, working the case. And I believe I've heard that hostage negotiators are involved. I mean, Trump told Savannah and told us, he said she could have anything she wants. So he sent her the best of the best, all the resources she needs. So yeah, she should be good as far as that's concerned. Leanne, thank you for commenting, says there's a gun in the holster right of the front of his waistband. Oh, that, like that right there. Oh, there's other pictures too. The other pictures are like close-ups of him like as he's getting ready to remove the ring cam. I keep calling it a ring cam. That's what happens, ring camera, when you are like a monopoly in a certain product. Everything that comes out after that gets called a ring cam, even though it's not ring. So I apologize. It's not a ring cam. It's not. But at this point, everything that's a doorbell camera is going to be called a ring cam because you guys are the biggest and the most known. Steelers girl says, I've never heard of ransom money being asked for. Oh yeah, I left out that part, Steelers girl. The Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Well, this is, it's 2026. They asking for ransom in the form of Bitcoin, y'all. Back in the days in the movies, I'm thinking about Rush Hour, give me $60 million, 20 in hundreds, 20 in 20s, and 20 in 10s. Remember that? And Chris Tucker said, you want any fives with that? $60 million. Who you think you got? Chelsea Clinton? It's just it's hard to conceive that this is real life. It really is. Melanie says the handle of the gun is facing towards the right hand. Got you. Okay, it's making sense now. And what's with the backpack? Betty wants to know what's in the backpack. Maybe it's tools. You know what I'm saying? The tools that they needed to do. We don't even know what happened inside the house. I don't think there's been any reports of what it looks like inside the house. I've only seen reports of like all the perimeter of the house, right? So if you guys have heard of anything that's going on in the house, let me know. I know that in the ransom note, in one of them, they made direct reference to like where the Apple Watch was positioned in the home, I guess just to like prove that they were really there and to prove that this was like a real deal thing and you need to take them serious. And we know that the Apple Watch or the Apple devices are connected to the pacemaker and the pacemaker has disconnected from the Bluetooth. When that news first came out, I can't tell you how many comments I saw of people thinking that that meant she died. But it just meant that she was no longer in proximity with those devices, so the Bluetooth disconnected. It doesn't mean that the pacemaker stopped working. Um, Sarah says the guy who asked for Bitcoin being prosecuted because it was a false ransom. Yes, so there was a fake note in the midst of the two ransom notes that are sort of being taken semi seriously. There was a fake one, and that person was found like right away. He was in LA. He was effing around. He wanted to be a part of it, and he sent a fake ransom note, and he got caught immediately. Like immediately. But Sarah, how seriously are they taking this case when this guy is out? Like he was released. I don't know if he was released on bond or if he was released on a PTA, a promise to appear. But he's out. Like they didn't even. I would think that they would hold on to him a little bit longer if this is such a serious case. You know what I'm saying? Doug thinks it's Mr. Clean that's taken her based on the picture. And Steeler says she is getting confused. I'm telling you, it's a lot. The only reason why I said I gotta talk about this is when they told us that they got the footage from the cameras, because this whole time they're like, we can't get the footage. She didn't have the subscription where they upload the footage. So, it's just one of those things, like they got cameras, but no footage. And I'm like, you know how like when you delete your Facebook page because you're sick of being on Facebook, and they're like, are you sure you want to delete? And you like, yeah, I'm out of here. I'm sick of Facebook. They're like, are you sure you want? I want to delete. I'm deleting this, Mr. Zuckerberg. I'm out of here. Goodbye. Goodbye. Good riddance. I'm out. And you click delete. You could go back on Facebook and get all that shit right back. Soon as you log in, your Facebook pops right back up. It was never gone. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, same thing with your immediately, Sonny. It never went nowhere. You think you deleted it, but Mr. Zuckerberg had it the whole damn time. So yeah, same for these cameras. I found it so hard to believe that she has this camera system all around the home, but there's no footage to be found anywhere, only because she didn't have the right subscription. Like, come on, y'all. This is 2026. So we finally have that footage. But hey, yo, listen, hi, Sharon. Thank you for stopping by. Anybody else new that I didn't say hello to? We got Doug, we got Sarah, we got my girl Steelers girl, we got Betty Mac, we got my girl Melanie, Leanne. Yes, we got Cindy Johnson in the house. You know what I'm saying? Doug been making me laugh. K Love was in the building. Shout out to all of you guys for having this conversation with me. Smokey Robinson, I appreciate you. One of my mods, Landlord, one of my mods was in the building. Oh, here's somebody that RZ, I'm sorry, I missed your comment saying, why do people suspect the son-in-law? There's just a rumor going around about the son-in-law, RZ. That law enforcement kind of has their eyes on him. Ruthie, I'm sorry if I missed your comment. Ruthie says maybe it's a white guy. I don't know. What's the racial makeup in Tucson? Is it mostly white out there? I know it's on the border, so you already know. Close to the border, a lot of people were like, check out the Mexicans. This is the time that we live in right now where it's like it's got to be a Mexican, right? JP was in the building. I don't know if you're still here, JP. Lynn Tucker was in the building. Turk was in the building. Sleepy was giving me trouble at first, and then he started behaving himself. Lynn Tucker. I appreciate all of y'all for being in here with me. Mo, you guys, it's been great having this conversation with you. This is just such a crazy, crazy news story. And I don't mean to say like I can't wait to see how it turns out, meaning like, like I'm excited or anything like this. This is a ridiculous story. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. It's scary. I just can't imagine how this is going to end up. I'm just as confused as Steelers girl. Thank you for subscribing if you subscribe. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up if you hit the thumbs up. The son-in-law is acting very sus. So is the sister, Sarah says. And Melanie says, I wonder what they have found from the gas station footage. The gas station is close to Annie's house. So the siblings are Annie, Savannah, who's, the famous one, and Cameron is the brother, the one boy. He's been super quiet. Why don't we suspect the brother? He's been super quiet. He don't really say much. You know what I'm saying? But Annie and her husband, they live in the area. I don't know if Cameron lives in the area, but Annie and her husband live in the area. They picked the mom up. Well, they sent her in an Uber. They sent the mom in an Uber to the house for family night, which is a beautiful thing. Your mom is still alive at 84 years old. You want to spend as much time with her as possible. And when you're the local one and the other siblings have moved away and Savannah's flying all over the world, going to the Olympics, she's on the Today Show, the sibling that's at home, the sibling that lives close to mom is usually the sibling that has the most weight on their shoulders. Can anybody relate? Does anybody have an elderly mom and multiple siblings, but only one or two of the siblings are the ones that carry the most weight? Can anybody relate to that? I can relate to that. I wasn't the sibling that carried the weight. I'm the youngest in my family. I'm the baby in my family. I got older brothers and sisters. But when you have elderly parents, as they start to get older, they require more and more of your attention. They require more and more of your time. And they require your care. They started off taking care of you. But now they're 70 plus, 75 plus, 80 plus, and now they need you to take care of them. And my sister, who is older than me, was that person. She's the one who lived the closest to my mom. So she was the one who had a lot of the burden, not just because she lived the closest, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like, she lived the closest. She was the one who could just run over in 5 minutes and check on mom. Like, if mom's not answering the phone, she could be there in 5 minutes. It would take me 25. It'd only take her 5. So when you are in that position, you carry the heavier burden. She did the doctor's appointments. She took time off of work. She knew my mom's whole schedule. You understand what I'm saying? There's always kind of like that one sibling that wears that badge for the older parent as they get older and sicker. And it looked like maybe Annie was that one. You know, it wasn't Savannah. Steelers girl said emotional roller coaster ride. Melanie says she gets it. Betty says she gets it. Sunny, I'm the youngest of 5, but I take care of my older parents. Yes, I totally understand. If something happened, I'm the closest. Exactly. Phyllis just joined us, and Phyllis says hi. Hey, girl. Yeah, so I bring that up only and Sunny totally gets it. Betty gets it. Melanie gets it. When your parents get older, it's once a man, twice a child. Now you are taking care of the person who raised you. You are taking care of the person who changed your diapers. You might be the one now changing their diapers. But this is their final, this is it. Like they don't have too much time left, and you are giving them everything you can before that day comes. You know what I'm saying? I remember there was a couple of times where we thought our mom was missing, but that was just because my mother decided that no matter how sick or how old she was going to go out anyway. And she was going to drive even though she wasn't supposed to be driving. And she was going to go to the grocery store and do her own grocery shopping, and had the rest of us in a panic because she wasn't home. We didn't call 911, but we got close. You know what I'm saying? Like, where is our mother? Where's mom? And like I said, being that my sister was only 5 seconds away, she was the one who would get in her car and run to my mother's house, check on her. Sometimes when she wasn't answering the phone, it's just because she was sleeping. But we would all freak out if we couldn't hear from her. If she didn't answer her phone when we called. Because as she got older and my mother was sick, you start to worry. Why isn't she answering the phone? Mom, where are you? I'm texting you. Why didn't you text me back? you know? So that's why this story sort of has a little bit of a I have a little bit of a soft spot for this story in that aspect, because I can relate to what that feels like to for a few moments not know where your mother is. And in my case, my mother just decided she wanted to go grocery shopping, and the rest of us didn't know. Sunny, I totally understand if something happened. I'm the closest. Yep. Sarah took care of my grandma through dementia and stayed through it all. It's, oh my goodness, Sarah. Yeah. One thing I will have to say where we were lucky is that our mom still had her wits about her towards the end, and didn't have like full on dementia or anything. But you know, as they get older, as anyone gets older, you start to lose it a little bit. You know, you start to get a little forgetful and stuff. You don't drive as well as you used to and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So like, I was thinking maybe that's what this was going to be, but this Nancy Guthrie story is so much bigger than just someone wandering away. Only because of the ransom notes and the kidnapping aspect of it. It doesn't mean that Nancy Guthrie is more important than any other elderly person that's missing in this country today that is not getting not even one iota of the coverage that Nancy Guthrie is getting. Lights says, Kamala, you're fired. Okay. VS Philly says, my parents are 88 and 89. It is tough at times. God bless them, VS Philly. I know your pain, and my sister definitely would understand your pain. It is tough. Thank God you still have them, but yes, at 88 and 89, it's tough. It's tough. So I commend the sister, Annie, the one that lived the closest, for having family night with mom. I hope you and your husband didn't have nothing to do with this, girl. I hope you didn't have nothing to do with this and you getting on TV crying, talking about mama, mama, you better not have anything to do with this, Miss Annie. You better not. And your husband better not. All right? Because you got people out here crying and praying for you. Y'all better not have nothing to do with this. Sarah says, agreed. I wish every person would get this attention, but I think we respond to this in a symbolic way. Yes, Sarah. Yes. And again, I understand the media coverage. Number one, it's Savannah Guthrie. We are not Savannah Guthrie, y'all. If our mothers go missing, they're not going to care as much because we are not the host of the Today Show. That's just number one. Number two, there's a kidnapping going on here. That's not something that happens every day in America. We do not live in a third world country. Kidnappings don't just happen like that here. Number three, the elderly aspect, the pacemaker aspect, you know. And then if you want to throw in race, you can throw race in there. And if you want to throw in privilege, you can throw privilege in there. You mix that all together, and this is why you getting what you're getting with the media coverage. And Island Gill, thank you for stopping by. I'm from the islands too. What island are you from? Island says something is fishy, and they ain't talking about in the lake. You feel what I'm saying? Something is fishy indeed. Well, it's been about an hour, y'all, since I've been on here. If there are any other developments, since I see you guys are just as interested in talking about this as I am, I will go live again. So stay tuned. If you haven't already, subscribe. But just know this is not something I do on a regular basis, so don't be mad at me, okay? I'm an artist at the end of the day, and I'm a creative mind, so I'm all over the place. But I promise you, if something else goes down, I promise you I will go live and we will have this conversation again. So subscribe to me if you feel in this type of conversation, and we will talk again in the near future. Prayers goes out to all of y'all and your families, whatever you're going through, because everybody got something that they're going through that's not going to get media attention like this. You understand what I'm saying? So just know that I'm here for you. Thoughts and prayers goes out to you. Let's stick together. And go Cowboys. No, I'm just kidding, Steelers girl. At the end of the day, we pray for Nancy Guthrie's safe return. Peace out, y'all.